All right, let's get started with Snow White. As Disney's very first princess, she is known for being kind hearted, cheerful, gentle, and incredibly compassionate. She's always sees the good in others, has a special connection with nature, and never loses hope even in the darkest moments of her story. For her aspiration, I'm going to choose freelance botanist. While Snow White isn't literally a gardener in the movie, this aspiration fits her love of nature and the peaceful life she creates in the forest alongside the woodland animals. It really captures her appreciation for the outdoors and her nurturing personality. As for traits, I'm giving her cheerful, loves outdoors, and good. Cheerful reflects her optimistic outlook on life and how she always manages to stay positive. Love outdoors is an easy choice because she feels most at home surrounded by forests and its animals. And finally, good perfectly represents her kind, caring, and selfless personality. She's always willing to help others and chooses compassion over anger, making these three traits a great fit for Disney's first princess. Whenever I'm recreating a Disney character, I always like to begin with the face because that's what people recognize first. Hair and clothing definitely help sell the character, but if the facial features aren't right, something just feels off. I want this film to be a blend of both the animated version and the live action version. I'm not trying to make a exact copy, but a copy that when you look at it, you should know, okay, this must be Snow White. Now, the animated Snow White has very simplified, almost doll-like features because of the art style from 1930s. Everything is round, soft, and very symmetrical. The live action version, on the other hand, has a more realistic proportions and subtle face details. When people picture Snow White, one of the first things that come to mind is her short, black bobs hairstyle. Her hair is such an important part of her character design because it creates the classic fairy tale princess look that has been recognized for almost 90 years. Now let's work on Snow White's complexion. One of the most iconic descriptions of Snow White is that she has a skin as white as snow. That doesn't necessarily mean she's completely pale, but rather that she has a very smooth, porcelain like complexion. I want to choose one of the lighter skin tones that still has a little warmth to it so she looks healthy and natural in the Sims while staying true to her classic Disney appearance. Her complexion has always been soft, youthful, and radiant, so I'm keeping her makeup very minimum to let that natural beauty shine through. Another famous part of Snow White's appearance is her lips, which are often described as being as red as the rose. Her signature red lips create a beautiful contrast against her fair skin and dark hair, making them one of the most recognizable features of her design. I chose a soft classic red instead of anything too bright or dramatic because I still want her to look elegant, timeless, and true to both the animated and live action versions. It's a simple detail, but it really helps bring the whole Snow White look together. Now that we have Snow White's hair and facial features together, let's talk about her outfits. Snow White's dress is probably one of the most iconic princess's dress in Disney history. The original design has a very classic fairy tale style with a fitted bodice, puffy sleeves, a high collar, and her famous blue, yellow, and red color combination. When recreating her using only base game items, my goal isn't necessarily to find an identical dress because that can be almost impossible without custom content. Instead, I'm focused on capturing the main elements that make her outfit recognizable. The first thing you may notice I looked for was the color palette. The blue represents the top portion of her dress, the yellow represents the skirt, and the red accents represent the bow and details on her sleeves. Those colors are what instantly makes people think of Snow White. Even if the exact shape isn't perfect, going with those colors together helps sell the character. I also want the outfit to feel feminine and classic. Snow White isn't a princess who wears something flashy or over glamorous. Her style is simple, elegant, and timeless. She doesn't need a lot of extra details because her charm comes from her personality. Another thing I'm keeping in mind is her time period. Since Snow White comes from a fairy tale world inspired by old European royalty, her clothing should feel traditional rather than modern. Okay, now for sportswear, I do want to change her hair up to maybe like a ponytail. She got her bob going now, but when I have my hair down trying to work out, that doesn't work. So I'm looking for like a short ponytail or something we could throw in it too. Oh yeah, this will work. Moving on, let's get her something a little bit cooler to wear. Although I don't even know in that time period if they had capris, but let's throw some shoes on her and let's move on to nightwear. Let's put her hair back into a ponytail so it could be somewhat tied up rather than down. Remember, I'm not sticking directly to the Snow White, what we saw in the thing, but I do want to make it practical. So we're going to put her hair in a ponytail for the nighttime and let's get her something comfortable to wear. Let's paint her toenails because she's a princess. We need to get her nails done. Hands and feet need to be done. She's a princess. It only seems right. Now for party wear, I'm thinking a dress for sure. I have to go basically on my imagination because if I'm mistaken, the only thing she wears through that whole movie is that dress. And with base game, we got to work with what we have. So looking for those colors that makes Snow White noticeable. We're going to go with that and move on to swimwear. Since Snow White's story was released in 1937, I wanted to take inspiration from what swimwear looked like during the 1930s. Overall, 1930s swimwear had a classic vintage charm. It was practical, modest, and sophisticated. So for Snow White, I want a swimsuit that captured that timeless 1930s aesthetic rather than something modern or revealing. Okay, for her summer outfit, I don't want to copy the movie exactly. Instead, I want it to look something Snow White would actually wear if she lived in today's world. I'm looking for a blue top and maybe like a yellow skirt to keep her classic color palette. And of course, we're going to keep the red lipstick because it's basically her signature. Snow White said she's not wearing that heavy dress in the summer heat. For Snow White's winter look, I want her outfit to feel cozy without losing her signature colors. I'm thinking a red turtleneck, dark jeans, and matching boots. Okay, let's take this hat off and take a look at all of her outfits. I had so much fun creating Snow White using only base game, but now it's time to see what happens when we add custom content. I plan on keeping the same vision and color palette, but the custom content will let me add more texture, detail, and personality. As you can see, I was able to find her iconic dress. Now let's get her hair looking more into what we're used to seeing. I don't want to do it exactly the same, so let's choose this one with a little bit of flair. And of course, we need the bow. For her eyes, I'm choosing a warm reddish brown shade because I want them to feel soft, expressive, and full of warmth. It's a subtle detail, but I think it really brings her character to life. For Snow White's outfits, I wanted every look to feel modern while staying true to her sweet and timeless personality. Her everyday and summer outfit features soft blues, ivory, and red accents inspired by her iconic dress. For formal wear, I chose an elegant red gown fit for a princess, while her party outfit offers a fun and sophisticated twist. Her athletic look is more comfortable and practical, and her sleepwear is a delicate satin slip inspired by what she might wear beneath her dress. I cap her swimwear classic with a vintage inspired red one piece, and for winter, I style her in cozy red layers that capture her signature color palette. Now that Snow White is finished, it's time to create the other half of this fairy tale couple, Prince Florian. When most people think about Snow White, they immediately remember her story, her relationship with the evil queen, and her friendship with the seven dwarfs. But Prince Florian is also an important part of her happily ever after. He represents the hope and love that Snow White holds throughout the story. Unlike many Disney princes who have a lot of screen time and a detailed backstory, Prince Florian is actually one of Disney's earlier princes, so we don't learn as much about his personality compared to the other characters like Prince Eric or Aladdin. So, based on what I know about him, I'm gonna pick Friend of the World for his aspiration. And for his three traits, we will go with cheerful, family oriented, and self assured. In the original 1937 film, the prince is mostly known as a mysterious royal who discovers Snow White and falls in love with her. For this makeover, I'm imagining what Prince Florian might look like if he combined the elegance and kindness of the animated prince with the bravery, independence, and adventurous spirit of Jonathan from the live action movie. I think blending the two creates a fresh modern take on Prince Florian while still staying true to the heart of the original character. For his face, I'm taking inspiration from both characters. Prince Florian gives him that timeless, kind hearted look, while Jonathan adds more definition and maturity. Blending the two characters create a version that feels true to the original while fitting a more realistic style. I think the base game has a hairstyle that's much closer to Prince Florian's original look, so that's the direction I'm going to go. Even though I'm blending inspiration from both Prince Florian and Jonathan, I'm keeping Prince Florian's signature blue eyes to preserve that classic Disney look. For his lips, I'm keeping them soft and natural because I want his overall look to feel approachable and timeless, just like his original character. I don't want to overdefine them since Prince Florian has a gentle, classic appearance that fits the fairy tale prince aesthetic. A supple lip shape helps maintain that kind of charming expression while making him look a little bit more realistic in The Sims 4. For his everyday outfit, I want something that feels modern while still capturing his classic prince charm. Since I'm blending inspiration from both the animated Prince Florian and Jonathan from the live action movie, I chose I'm going to go with a light button up shirt with a sweater draped over his shoulders because it gives him a timeless, polished look without feeling overly formal. For his formal outfit, I want Prince Florian to look elegant without dressing him in a traditional royal uniform. Instead, I'm going to go with a tailored blue suit because it keeps the classic blue color associated with his character while giving him a more modern appearance. The darker trousers and matching dress shoes complete the look and make it feel refined enough for a royal celebration. For his athletic outfit, I'm going to keep things simple and practical. A basic white athletic shirt with navy shorts because they create a clean, comfortable look that feels perfect for exercising or spending time outdoors. Since Prince Florian has a calm and adventurous personality, I think the outfit reflects that side of him while still looking stylish. For his sleepwear, I want something that feels both comfortable and a little luxurious. I'm going to go with this robe because it reflects the lifestyle you might expect from a prince while still looking cozy enough to wear around the house. For his party outfit, I want something that's stylish but not as formal as his suit. I'm going to go with a navy vest layered over a crisp white shirt because it creates a polished yet relaxed appearance. I want to pair it with dark pants and brown shoes to tie everything together. This outfit gives Prince Florian a modern look while still maintaining the charm and sophistication you expect from a Disney prince. For his swimwear, I'm going to keep the design simple with a pair of classic blue swim trunks. Blue is one of Prince Florian's signature colors, so it feels like the perfect choice for this category. I don't want to overcomplicate the look because sometimes simple designs work best. This outfit feels clean, timeless, and perfect for a relaxing day at the beach or by the pool. For his hot weather outfit, I want something that feels light, breathable, and effortless. I'm going to go with a light blue polo with white shorts because the colors create a fresh, clean look that's perfect for warmer days. I also want to add a bucket hat because it gives a modern touch while helping protect him from the sun. Altogether, the outfit feels relaxed while staying true to Prince Florian classic style. For his winter outfit, I want him to look warm, sophisticated, and ready for cold weather. I'm going to go with long brown coat because it gives him that classic storybook feel while also looking practical. Now here's Prince Florian completely recreated using only base game items. I think he turned out really well, but now it's time for the fun part. Let's give him a full custom content glow up and see just how much we can transform Disney's very first prince.